Wayne's Bucks County is brought to you by Bucks Life Magazine and local sponsors.
As it turns out, your grandparents were a lot cooler than you thought they were. Hamilton Jewelers, where style is timeless.
Subscribe on YouTube.com, search Bucks Life Mag.
Hi everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Dwayne's Bucks County. Tonight we are cooking with Leah Dillon, something really healthy, right?
We are. It's very healthy, but it's something that will appeal to vegans, vegetarians, and meat eaters. Mushroom burgers with pecans and walnuts. And we're going to follow it up with a creamy cashew dipping sauce.
Can you tell me a little bit nutritionally about this?
I am not a nutritionist, however, I am a healthy foodie, coming from a background of fitness and complementing that with what works for me as far as healthy food. Definitely something you could eat every day if you love them that much, which I think you will.
Let's talk about measurements.
So we, for the mushroom burgers with pecans and walnuts, we'll start with that. We will begin with 1.5 pounds of mushrooms. You can use pretty much any combination, but you want to use mushrooms that have some great flavor. We followed that up with half a cup fresh parsley, and put all of that, those two things, the mushrooms and the parsley, in the food processor till they come crumbled. Then we added 1 large, very finely minced yellow onion, and combined that with 1 tablespoon of jarred garlic, and sauteed the onion and garlic together. We use 1.5 cups to 2 cups of breadcrumbs. Then there's 3 tablespoons of tahini, half cup pecans, and a half cup walnuts. The pecans and walnuts get toasted on the stove. 3 tablespoons soy sauce, 1 teaspoon dried oregano, half teaspoon sage, and salt and pepper to taste. So we're going to get started. The mushrooms already minced with the parsley. I'm going to take each half a cup of each type of nuts, medium heat, and you want to make sure they're spread out in the pan. So while they're toasting, we're going to add the other ingredients, and you'll see how quick and easy this is. We're going to take the onions and the garlic, add it to the mushrooms, the soy sauce, drizzle it around, the tahini, scoop that in. But I do like to pre-measure. Have all your ingredients ready. It really makes the whole process a little more enjoyable. Oregano, the sage, very little sage, don't need a lot, but it adds a lot of the flavor. And for now, you can always salt and pepper your patties when they're done. And so now we pretty much have our wet ingredients. When you're adding your breadcrumbs, maybe add 1/2 cup at a time, or 1/3 of what you have measured out, just in case it soaks them up less or more, so that they're not too dried out. So we'll start that process, and in the meantime we'll kind of double check our toasted nuts. And a good way to tell if the nuts are toasted or not, they'll start to brown up a little bit, but you'll start to really smell the aroma. So we're going to take your hands and start mixing the more wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. And you can already tell, it's amazing. The mushrooms start to feel almost like what a ground beef or a ground turkey would feel like, and you can tell right away that you're going to be able to form them into patties. So you can see that I'm not going to nearly need all of my breadcrumbs. It's starting to form a little bit, but I still have the nuts to go, so I'm going to put a little more breadcrumbs. And then when my nuts are done toasting, I'm going to chop them and add them to it. And then we're ready to start cooking them. That's how easy and quickly these come together. So no excuses after this. Okay, so our nuts are toasted, as they say, on some occasions. And we're gonna add them right to the food processor. Nice and toasty. Oh, I can smell them. This is my handy dandy, I guess I can say it. This isn't national television. This is my Ninja. I love my Ninja. How many people get sick of that? So we're actually going to get them just above a powder. Again, you want to taste them, but you don't want to have a whole bite of a nut. So I like to use electric frying pan for a lot of things. It's my thing. So I think that's about it. And we probably have 3/4 of a cup of the breadcrumbs left, which means, I don't know, I used about 1.25 cups. But that shows you, I guess, it depends on the moisture in each batch of mushrooms. So I'm gonna rinse my hands off, spray my electric skillet with Pam spray, and get started. And after we start cooking them and they go on the frying pan, we'll start with the creamy cashew dipping sauce. Okay, so after between chopping things, sauteing the onions, maybe about 15 minutes of prep time, we're gonna start forming the patties, the little sliders, mushroom sliders I call them, kind of like a meatball, soft, and then pat them down. You want to make sure that they're maybe only like a 1/2 inch thick, because you want to heat it through, although there's no eggs or anything in there that necessarily has to get cooked through, but you want to have some heat in the middle and brown on the edges and outside. Look how nice. Again, very flavorful. These you could also cook up the whole batch for your family or for your household, and you can freeze them. They're liking that heat, and yeah, you can see all the ingredients. We're about ready to start flipping our burgers. We're at about 350 degrees on the electric frying pan. Oh, nice and toasty. I think it was about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. You can kind of, just like a pancake, flip one a little bit before, you flip them all and check it. Flip it back if it's not ready. They'll turn into more like ground beef or ground turkey. We'll start working on the creamy cashew sauce so we can put it all together. Unsalted cashews, 1/2 cup unsweetened soy milk, organic unsweetened soy milk, 3 teaspoons of lemon juice, freshly squeezed, 1/2 teaspoon nutritional yeast. That's going to firm up the sauce a little bit, give it a little bit of more of a creamier consistency, the nutritional yeast. 1/4 to 1/8 of a teaspoon, depending on how hot you like it, of cayenne pepper. That's my Paula Deen. And then we have 1/4 teaspoon ground cumin. And we together. Now this you want to mix, almost whip it, so that the air goes into the sauce. Awesome. And then we'll spoon it out. I hear those burgers sizzling over there. So it's actually has a nice consistency for a dipping sauce. How about that? See, you can almost make a vegan gourmet meal in certainly less than 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And we'll plate it up, and Dwayne and I are gonna give it a try. Two for me, one for Dwayne. Now Dwayne can have 2. Nice. Since we had some from earlier that were in our burgers. Pretty, pretty. And then some of our creamy cashew sauce. Look how nice and thick and creamy that came up. We'll use it to dip. This is home cooking for your family. You don't need to have a lot of utensils and pots and pans, and just the necessities.
has a meaty kind of flavor.
There's a little kick to the sauce.
That's enough to make a vegetarian cry. I love it. Really flavorful.
That's the thing. I think people don't
too.
realize how much flavor, you know, with the spices and the fresh parsley. So I do like to make things that everyone can eat that comes over. The whole recipe is fully vegan, both things. These really have that bite like a meat burger. So don't knock it till you try it.
I love it. Next month
A
we'll do a great dessert,
dessert.
Perfect.
You know, something that you'll be surprised how tasty it is for dessert.
So go on Facebook and check out Leah Dillon.
Personal training and wellness.
Great. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.